That beat is so fresh, so fly. My buddy made that for me back in the day, and it's still using it today. What is up, everybody? Thank you for joining us at the Positively Awesome Wrestling Podcast. Whenever I miss a week, I always come back just tripping over my words. This is how it is. But we're here. We're here to have fun because that's what everything's about. It's having fun. Albert, how the heck have you been, and how have you been enjoying your wrestling?
I've been pretty good. I've been enjoying the hell out of my wrestling. I think it's just easy to say that, even when things are bad, even bad wrestling still sometimes is pretty good,
Sometimes it's so bad that it is good.
That's very true.
Some of my favorite. Like when it comes to movies, so bad that it's good, my favorites, guilty pleasure. Doesn't happen that often in wrestling, but when it does, it is pretty wonderful. So we are here to talk about the Elimination Chamber, everybody, because it's Elimination Chamber week, and that's what all the podcasts are doing. So we're going to throw in a little bit of predictions to go with the chat about Elimination Chamber, but we have a very fun topic this time around with the PLE because The Rock has come and give us something to really think about going into the chamber. So I guess that's how we're going to kick the show off tonight because we saw The Rock show up on SmackDown, Babylon for about 15 minutes, what it felt like, where it just didn't seem like anybody knew where he was going. And then he finally closed it, brought it home, and left us all saying, huh? Wait a minute, this is getting interesting. So, with that said, I want to know, what was your overall consensus on Rock's promo to Cody Rhodes, or whatever we're going to call it, from SmackDown this past week?
Look, there are times where you can't bet 1,000, right? Not everybody's perfect. This just might not. I feel like The Rock just didn't know what he was doing, where he was going with it. Like, I think he knew what the destination was, but he didn't figure out how he was going to get there at all. And I think 9 times out of 10, Rock can go out there and go, I got this. And he nails it.
Yeah.
This was that 10th time. He got to where we need to be. I think Cody was a lot more concise about what The Rock asked him about on Monday night to kind of like unpack it.
I think Cody did a wonderful job selling the story with his facial expressions.
Yes.
Because his facial expressions were a lot of what, like, probably I was looking like during it. Like, huh? What? Like, it was everywhere. What up, Lou? Thank you for joining. And what is up, Harry? Thank you for joining as well. It was one of the things that was one of the worst, weakest Rock promo. Probably. And that's kind of crazy to say because he's had thousands of them. So for him to finally have a bad one, I guess, isn't terrible.
Yeah, it happens.
But I feel like since he's come back last year, a lot of his stuff has been repetitive, but it's been okay because the overall consensus of it was still good.
Right.
This one just kind of stood out a little bit more because it wasn't good. But again, it did its job because, man, did it just turn the chamber up over on its head. Like, a lot of people really don't they have their theories and they're like, if my theory doesn't happen, I've got to be upset, just like they always do. But when you've created something where there's multiple theories, like we were talking about going into the Royal Rumble, coming out of the chamber, there's a lot of people that can win this now where the story is going to be very interesting going into Mania against Cody. And I'm very excited about this. This is the kind of thing I think Mania needed.
And there's also a lot of intrigue as to what other WrestleMania matches get made with the remaining 5 people who don't main event WrestleMania with Cody Rhodes.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and say this now because I was on a show the other night and they brought up the possibility of CM Punk taking on a certain person who drinks a lot of Prime. And I'm going to go ahead and say we're nipping that in the butt. We're not talking about that in the show because I don't want that kind of bad juju in the universe. That ain't happening.
It looks like AJ Styles to me. That's where it looks like he's going.
Hey, that's great. But CM Punk's first Mania match back cannot be against that sumbitch. And it has nothing to do with the fact that I think the guy sucks because he's great in the ring. He does his job fantastic. But Punk's first Mania match back cannot be that. That is a travesty. But we'll probably go over quite a few of them here tonight while we're going over the chamber because we have a very short chamber card As of now, that could probably change on SmackDown. I don't see it happening, but it could.
Probably not.
But yeah, we got the Rock thing out of the way, so we'll jump right into the meat and bones of the Elimination Chamber. Now, the first match we're going to go over, I think, is the one that will probably get the least amount of our.
Can I just add one thing about the Rock thing?
Go ahead. Cut me off.
I do have a theory about this. I do think that this is all like a tie-in, and I think that this is just an announcement that the Rock is going to play Shang Tsung in the next Mortal Kombat movie. That's my.
He's gonna play Shang Tsung and the Apocalypse in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Man, he's off to and he's in a Martin Scorsese film. It's the year of the Rock in 2026. Everybody,
your soul is mine. Just
you know what, Harry? Yes, we.
Ooh, that's a good one. I like that too.
Right now, before we do Elimination
Chamber,
who's gonna say no to Chelsea Green on this show? So. I didn't even think. I have not put much thought into this. It's in Canada. Do you have any people that you're thinking?
I don't understand who it would be if there's a Canada tie-in. I'm not 100% sure. Because my immediate reaction is Mickie James makes a lot of sense with her being on LFG. I think that kind of like as a tie-in. I feel like that could be something, but. Other than that, I'm really not sure. Hey, Lou, you joke around, but Jade is apparently cleared.
Yeah, but she ain't coming back for Chelsea. She don't want that smoke.
Well, I mean, who would?
Man, would. Yeah, that's tough. I'm gonna go look at this roster real quick
because it's definitely not going to be Trish. Because Trish, we already know, has the match with Tiffany. Harry, has mentioned that maybe Nikki Bella, which could be a thing because, she did just come back at the Rumble. I can see that maybe that's a chance. I don't think it's a very big chance that that's going to happen, but I would say that there's more of a chance than not. I don't know.
My only problem with the Nikki Bella one is like Nikki wins.
Well, what I didn't say it was a title match.
I thought it was.
Is it? I don't. Maybe I missed that.
I'll look that up.
I could have missed that.
Next. Do you know, Harry? Is this a title match? That would be my only pushback there as Nikki Bella is we're not having Chelsea Green lose that title right now. It ain't happening.
No. I see now, like Harry, I would like that if Nikki does come out and Chelsea wins and she's doing like an open challenge where she fights like all the divas of old. I am so down. So Harry said he doesn't think it's a title match.
Okay. If it's not a title match, Nikki Bella is fine and she could beat her and that sets up Mania or something. I'm perfectly fine with that. That would be absolutely okay. I'm hoping it's not something stupid, and I'm not saying she is stupid. I just think the idea would be stupid because they've played it to death at this point. Michin. And with the way SmackDown has been lately, it's kind of like that's kind of where my head's going. Is it probably Michin? But I really hope that's not the case.
Or BFAB either, which she's beat both of them. I
wouldn't be mad at the BFAB because she beat BFAB in the tournament, didn't she?
And then I think she beat her in a 1-on-1, didn't she? Too, like afterwards.
Okay. If she has, then no, don't do that. I'm gonna go ahead and pick a random name.
Cool.
Maybe it's an NXT call-up. That's what I think it could possibly be. And I haven't seen her name get brought up on NXT in a while. She wasn't on it the past 2 episodes I've tuned into. And I think she's ready for the main roster, at least for like the mid-card, lower tier stuff. Thea Hale.
Interesting. Okay.
I think that would be a good one to bring up.
I thought you were going somewhere else. You're going to say Lola Vice.
No, because I think her and Stephanie Vacker have something.
She hasn't been on TV in like a couple of weeks, apparently, according to.
I'm not completely tuned in on NXT, so I don't know this for a fact, but I did remember seeing an interview with Stephanie like maybe 3 weeks ago out in the parking lot, and Lola Vice walked behind her, and she was kind of like giving her the side eye. So it was like,
gotcha.
They haven't done anything yet. It was kind of like they planted some seeds for it. So I don't think that. Yeah, it's man. I don't know. Like, I think that would be a really stupid decision.
Oh, well, there we go. Apparently, she wrestled this week on NXT. This is I didn't watch, so there we go.
Yeah, see, I didn't see this week's either because 1, I was doing the pod, and 2, the Hardy Boys were on it, so I just said no.
Wow.
No, she wouldn't. Jay don't want the smoke. Okay, She don't want the smoke. So we got Nikki Bella from Harry. Lou says Jade Cargill. Man, don't do that to her, please. I say Thea Hale, and you say on the spot. I'm making you make a decision.
All right. I think I'm gonna go with. I don't even. Who did I even say originally?
You were saying not Trish because she has a thing.
Right.
I don't know who you said.
My mind just went blank. I feel like I said somebody, but then
in your dreams.
Absolutely not. Oh, Mickie James. I'm gonna go.
Oh, that's right, Mickie James. Okay,
yeah.
Okay. So we have a variety of options.
Yeah. Yeah. Why not?
I wouldn't be mad at Mickie. Mickie has history with
I feel like
NA too. So they
right, and there's like that also that like I know it's not a Canada tie-in, but Mickey's got like that whole thing with Trish.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It kind of like makes sense. I was also thinking Natty, just because they're in Canada and they like to just do that.
Man, he just party poopered me right there, man. Oh. That's
because there's always a chance that that's going to happen because they're in Canada.
It's gonna be Natty.
It might be.
It's gonna be Natty. Lou said, "Hey, right here. Hey, it's not enough for me to care to want it to happen. I'll take you not being a Punk fan if that's what.
I think it's going to happen eventually. I don't know about WrestleMania, but I think it's going to happen eventually.
Hey, SummerSlam, knock your shoes off. I don't care. Have at it. Have fun with it. I don't care. We're not doing.
I like that segment. I like that segment with the two of them in the ring, though, to open up Raw. They were, it was a good segment.
Yeah, I don't.
I know. Look, I'm not. Look, I'm in the same boat as you. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying they do work well off of each other.
That's something I didn't think about, and I guess hey,
that could be it.
I'm with that. I'd be with that. I'd be with that one. I'm still going with mine, just because it's just a completely off the wall crazy one.
Yeah, I was like,
we got some good names in there. If it's not one of the names we named, then we just need to stop guessing on things because we're
some tidy picks every once in a while. We gotta go with our hearts.
So with that, we talk about Trish. We'll just segue into the match I was going to start off tonight with Trish and Tiffy taking on Nia and Candice. Big ups for Candice getting her first PLE match. That's awesome. And I don't think there's much to talk about this one because I think it's a foregone conclusion on who's winning and how it's going down. But if you have anything you'd like to throw in on the match or what you think might happen with this match, now is the time to do so. If not, we'll just move on.
I like that they brought Trish back in this role. I like that they're just going to use her, sparingly every once in a while, do a thing, hey, she wants to come back, they're in Canada. Cool. Let's roll, and she's been back on TV every week. The one thing I'll say about Trish is that when she's invested into a storyline, she comes back and she's there all the time. She doesn't miss TVs. She's always there. I do appreciate that. So I think that Trish and Tiffany obviously win. I think that, there is the chance that Charlotte might interfere to try to cost them. But then again, what sense would it make for Charlotte to want to cost them the match? It doesn't even make sense, right?
Well, Charlotte doesn't make sense a lot of the time. So,
I'm not going to go there, but yeah, I think Trish and Tiffany win.
Yeah. And I agree 1,000%. It's Trish and Tiffy winning. Tiffy's going to be in the match probably, I would say 75-80% of the time, and then Trish is going to get the hot tag, come in, pin Candice, and then the crowd goes home happy. This match is a people pleaser match, and I'm fine with it. Like I am really fine with it.
Remember when everybody said that about the Bad Bunny match at WrestleMania, and then he was in there for like 95% of the match?
And Bad Bunny would have to prove something. Trish don't do anything.
I know. That's just always like I always felt like that's always been like the mindset of everything. And then like they were like, nah, we're just not going to do that. And Bad Bunny was like, nah, all right, cool, and killed it. Like,
yeah, with the international crowds, I'm fine with these kind of matches because they are like incredible experiences.
The atmosphere is going to be great.
In Puerto Rico.
Yes.
Like that was just amazing.
France.
Yeah. So I don't think anything of that magnitude happens with this match, but I do think it's just to pop the crowd, let them go home happy because the next match we're going to talk about, they're going to be happy and they're going to be sad at the same time because it's not going to be fun. And I think you know where I'm going with this one. We have Kevin Owens taking on Sami Zayn. Oh, and I don't know if it was clear. I did say Trish and Tiff.
Yeah.
Hold up now, mid-rat, buddy. Bad Bunny is he a bad man. Bad Bunny is a bad man. We ain't do that mid stuff over here. He'll hit you with a Puerto Rican destroyer.
That's true.
Sorry. Hey, as long as you're here, it's all good. Thank you for joining.
I'm always late everywhere, so don't worry.
Yeah. So Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn in a non-sanctioned match. I think this should main event. It probably won't because The Rock's involved, so that's gonna take precedence because that's what happens. Which is crazy because I don't know where you'd fit this kind of match with these two guys in Canada on your show without it completely deflating what follows it. This is a very tricky situation they have here. So I told you it wasn't going to happen. You got to listen to your boy. So Sammy versus Kevin Owens, first and foremost, how are you feeling about how they've been able to sell? For me, I think they've done a good job. Do you think they've done a really good job of selling this match with the short amount of time they've been given?
Just people like to think that they know more than everybody else. And there's a lot of people who sit back there and they're like, well, it's so dumb that people are doing destroyers and no one's using pile drivers in WWE. And you think that I guarantee that there was a conversation at one point where somebody was like, let me do a pile driver. And Triple H was like, yeah, whatever, let him do a pile. No, you know what? You're still not doing them. And then we're gonna wait, and we're gonna make Kevin Owens. We're gonna let him bring back the package pile driver. We're gonna make the most devastating finisher in wrestling. It's not even a finishing move; it's a career ender.
Yeah.
It's like the Randy Orton punt. It used to take people out for months. And I love that they did that for Kevin Owens. I think it's a great element to add to his character. I like that we've only seen it twice, and once was to Cody Rhodes, now once to Sami Zayn. Sami is still selling his neck, still saying his neck is 100%.
Randy's still gone.
Randy's still out, and he didn't even get the package version. He got the regular version.
He got the regular pile driver, and he's still out. So like they've done a really good job of selling the pile driver. And if you have a problem, I think that's just crazy to have a problem with it. Like you could go watch it anywhere else, and they do it as a normal move, and there you go. They just do things differently, and that's what I always hear everyone say. Like when you criticize another company, they're like, "Well, they just do it differently." Okay, well, WWE does things differently too. So if we're not going to criticize one, we're not going to criticize the other for really stupid, minuscule details.
Right, it's like that thing where they're like, oh, well, pile driver is like a normal move in AEW. Like, okay, that's great. So, but then like Orange Cassidy's finishing move is he punches you in the face, like which is a normal move in WWE. So apples to oranges here.
For Roman, so yeah,
right, exactly. Apples to oranges here. I really feel that wrestling fans like try to get ahead of themselves and try to make themselves out to be smarter than everybody else, and it makes them not like things.
Yeah,
I think this is the perfect setup.
It's ego. A lot of fans have egos, and I don't understand why. It's like you're a fan of wrestling, like enjoy.
We're all nerds.
What's the ego for? There's no need for it. But yeah, the little bit of time because I think Sammy's done 2 promos now. Kevin Owens has done 2, maybe 3 at this. No, 3. He did the return where he spiked Sammy. Then he did a promo. Right. Sammy did a promo. Kevin Owens did the promo outside Sammy's house. I love shit right there.
But I you know what? I think I like Sammy's promo even better.
Yeah, and then Sammy comes back and says, I was doing the same thing. It just goes to show you, like, as different as they are, they're still on the same wavelength as how they act and think about things because they know each other so well. And for them to have been feuding for as long as they've been feuding and be able to give us something right now and in such a short time make this one feel like this is different, this is important, just goes to show, like, when I say that Kevin Owens right now I think is leagues above everyone else, this is the kind of stuff. Why? When I say Sami Zayn is one of the greatest baby faces of all time, when he's able to just convince you to get behind him no matter what. That this is the reason why these dudes are they're brilliant. They're absolutely brilliant. And as many flowers they get now, I really hope that when it's all said and done, they get more because they deserve it. That's how damn good these two are. Nah, he wasn't that bad. This one at least makes sense.
Right. Right.
Basically, we'll get to this part too, man. We'll get to this because it has been a minute.
Yeah, because we predicted last month. We both predicted last month that he was going to return.
Prediction shows we've predicted he's returned. So
and he hasn't. So I mean, this might be the one where he does.
We'll get to it.
But I think look, I think that eventually we're going to get KO versus Randy at WrestleMania, right? Like that's the plan. If we're getting this here, we're getting KO versus Randy at WrestleMania. That's my thought process.
I saw someone predict that maybe Randy doesn't even come back until after Mania, like the Raw after Mania. And I'm like, that would be wild.
That would be crazy to hold him off of WrestleMania.
I don't know why you would do that, but
yeah. Look, they've done that. Look, I can understand that if they were hurt and it's like, hey, all right, we don't have a slot for you, but I think he's been fine this entire time. Yeah, they should have had time to write him in.
They've been very secretive about like if he is hurt.
Yeah,
so I really don't know what to expect with Randy at this point. But we have 2 months to get to Mania, so I mean, if he comes back, they could just fix all that. So with that said, would you say, again, with such a short build, would you say this might be the best built match that Sammy and KO have had in WWE?
In a weird way, it is. I mean, and a lot of their other stuff, it was like a lot more drawn out. It was, hey, we're partners. Hey, there's some dissension. Hey, like, now I'm going to turn on you. Then it's Sammy was, I'm going to turn on you first. Then it's like, well, I'm going to turn on you again. And, like there was
basic stuff.
This time, I feel like this has been festering for months.
Yeah.
And it's a short build, but Kevin Owens has said repeatedly, I'll get to Sami Zayn, soon. Yeah. He's got something coming to him too. And, and we got like that little thing last month at Royal Rumble where he's like, okay, I get it. You're friends with Roman. That doesn't make you any less friends with me. Fine. I know you do the right thing. That's it. Now he didn't do the right thing. And I think that this has been, everybody can sit there and say the build hasn't been long. This has been built for a very long time.
If you've been watching anything with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn for the past, 20 years, this is not something that it's always there. There's something always brewing there, whether it's them together or them against each other. And again, this is why I think it's the greatest feud of all time, because of just how they've been able to keep it so good this long. They know when to separate, they know when to come together, and they know how to change the dynamics of the feud each time. This one just feels like it's personal on like a crazy level.
Yeah.
And it's basically been built up over 4 years because of the bloodline stuff. So that's how great it is. And I know it seems like it's rushed because they announced it and the matches too, but hey, we expected it to happen at Mania, so we knew the match was coming. It's not like we didn't see it coming. And if we could see it coming, that means it's been built up.
Yes.
So enough with like I said that, but I'm just kind of clarifying because of just on screen what we've seen between them. It's been a short build, but it has been a long build. They've sold it over the last few weeks.
Absolutely.
So with that said, who are you picking and why?
I feel like KO can afford to lose. It's just he's one of those guys that just can afford to lose. And I feel like even when he does lose, it doesn't hurt his stock because I feel like there's always a reason. And I think if Randy Orton shows up and costs him this match, it's the perfect opportunity for KO to be protected, to lose, just like he was at Royal Rumble, where he was like, hey, okay, yeah, he lost fair and square, but hey, I thought Sammy was going to help me. So you can think in your mind, all right, not really that fair, because he was like, okay, I didn't try my hardest because he came out, he's going to help me.
Yeah.
There's always an excuse. And I think that makes a lot of sense. I think KO loses to Sammy here. And I think that Randy Orton costs him the match.
Okay, that's interesting. You're the first person I've seen take Sammy here. I'm taking KO. I think KO needs it. And the reason I think it, and unfortunately, based on how things have happened, it looks like we're going KO, Randy, WrestleMania, and then Sammy, Karrion Kross into WrestleMania. I would say Karrion Kross is the lesser of the two opponents that they're going to have. So a win, I think, bolsters Kevin Owens to make him more of a viable threat against Orton, whereas a loss kind of pushes the Karrion Kross agenda a little bit more, because he's like, Sammy, you're too nice. And I think that's going to play into this match. And again, I think KO just needs it at this point because his run has been amazing. And I don't think he's really won anything.
And I don't think he needs to. I think that's the charm of Kevin Owens' character is that he doesn't need to, because even if, so here's the thing, even if, let's say KO loses, who cares? Because he's still going to be kept viable enough for Randy Orton, because people don't care whether or not he can win. They just want to see Orton kick his ass for taking him out for 4 months.
I see what you're saying. I think this is just a matter of we have different philosophies on this.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
I think maybe it's because I am such a KO fanboy. I'm like, no, I want to see him win some matches.
So do I.
He's been like, he's been that guy forever.
I know.
He just loses all the time. It's like, come on, man.
I know. Like the guy, if everybody talks about like they deserve another title. No, if there are two people in the world that deserve another title run, and it's Finn Balor and it's Kevin Owens. Like those two have like earned it because they've just been beaten by everybody. They put everybody over. They always make everybody who they work with feel a lot bigger when they come out. Like they deserve it, and Kevin Owens especially. You know, I want to see Kevin Owens win here. I just don't think he needs it as much as people think that he does, and I think that either way, people are going to want to see Orton kick the crap out of him.
Keep on dreaming, Lulu, because it ain't happening, baby. Not until Sami Zayn wins a world title. And I know some people, it'll never happen. And if it never happens, then he's never turning heel. How about that?
That's fine.
And yeah, I'm with you, Larry. Like he's been losing. It's like I feel like he needs this, and that kind of sucks too because I feel like he's kind of owned Sammy in WWE during this feud.
That's what I'm saying.
I would love Sammy to get a win here, but I think with it being unsanctioned, a loss doesn't hurt Sammy. Neither one of them is going to get hurt by the loss. It's just not. But I think with it being unsanctioned, it hurts a little less. But it also, being unsanctioned, kind of helps Kevin Owens' character seem that much more dangerous and menacing. Because when the rules are thrown out the book, this man ain't losing. That's the kind of story I feel like should be told, and that's why I think he should be winning.
I agree.
That's why I'm taking Kevin.
I'm not going to disagree. Like I think that either way, it's going to be fine. I think no matter who wins or loses, I think they're going to tell a good enough story that it'll make sense. You know?
I'm going to cry either way because one of them has to lose, and one
of
them
exactly
destroyed. I think this match is going to be more violent than the Cody one.
It's
going to be way more violent. These guys are good, and I don't see like I've seen a few people say this. It's going to save him from the package pile driver, and like that's him after them. Like people think there's going to be a post-match beatdown, and that's where Orton comes back. From what I've seen people saying, I don't think there's a post-match beatdown because I think these two are just going to beat each other down until they're just both.
They're both going to be, I don't think
they're going to have to get helped out, is what I.
No, no one's walking out of there.
And then Sammy loses to KO. Randy jumps back to the match. So since the Randy Orton talk has heated up in the chat, bonus question number 1: do we see Randy Orton at the Elimination Chamber?
Yeah, I think we do. I think he's interfering in this match undoubtedly.
In the match or after the match?
In the match. I don't. There's no reason to do it after the match. It's unsanctioned. Why would he wait? He wouldn't get disqualified. What would keep him from doing that? You know.
I guess. I'm saying he doesn't show up. I think if we're going to get a Randy Orton return, I think it should be on SmackDown. SmackDown needs some stuff to kind of get it interesting again.
You're not wrong there.
So I think
you're not wrong there.
Returning on SmackDown is the bigger thing to do, and just let Kevin and Sammy have their big moment in Toronto in the main event. I think this should be the main event. I'm pushing.
I'd love for that to be the main event,
but we'll see.
Like almost like shut the show. Like almost like shut the show down. You know, it's unsanctioned. You know,
crowd and everything, and then like get rid of a ref and all that other stuff. Just let them beat the piss out of each other.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see. So, yes to Randy, no to Randy. This is good. We got 2 differences so far. And then he says, yeah. Hey, SmackDown is where I'm saying it happens. I think they realize that SmackDown needs some kind of excitement to go in with the matches have been great on SmackDown. It's literally everything else that's kind of just like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I agree.
So,
and even the matches, they are relying a lot on the DQ finish again, which I'm not a big fan of. There's been a couple of matches that we've seen like they've been really, really solid, and it's been a disqualification to to end it. And I get it. You're trying to preserve it. You don't want to, you don't want certain characters to lose, and that's fine. But it becomes a slippery slope.
Yeah,
for a little while.
You got to let people lose. Like,
yeah,
just don't let them lose a lot
all the time.
You
right.
have a very big roster. You don't need to do it. You can use people that aren't being used for those situations.
Right.
I will say I like the Street Profits continuing to interfere with everything because they're basically saying like, "Hey, y'all aren't doing anything until we
get it right."
That would make sense to me. I don't.
No, I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
but it's like they did like Dom. They had a disqualification this week in the match with Braun Breaker. Right. I think there was another one like the week before. It was a pretty the tag title match too. War Raiders and the Creed Brothers. Like it was like really really good match, and it ends in a DQ. Yeah. They've been that's a very Vince thing to do. I'm not a big fan.
So, and I'm gonna go ahead and assume that Courtney is saying he returns, and hey, I do too. I think this is a brilliant move from Melo. I think his cockiness paired with Miz's arrogance is going to make some very entertaining television. That's going to give Melo a great feud coming out of it against somebody who's very good at getting people over to get Melo to the next level. I see people bitching about this. You're wrong. Give this one time.
This is what pisses me off. This is it's and this happens all the time. And I know we're trying to be positive all the time, but it's wrestling fans just irk me so much. We have for months have been talking about that. We want better things for Carmelo Hayes. Yeah. We want a storyline. We want him winning.
No, not like
now.
That.
Now he's in a storyline and he's winning, and everybody's like, no. This isn't what we wanted. Like That's exactly what you asked for.
Yeah, they played it nicely because it was like he was facing the top people and he was losing. So then he's like, I'm gonna go to the bottom of the barrel, start just picking cherries like you do in a game of 21. And it was like, yeah, that makes sense for his character because he's like, nah, I am the man. I need to start getting some wins or else I'm gonna start losing my confidence. So let me start beating up on these nobodies, and that makes sense. And then for Miz to throw himself into this because he's been looking for someone to watch his back ever since he got kicked out of Karrion Kross's faction. Makes sense for him to just latch on to Melo, and then their chemistry is going to be through the charts. I love this idea, and I give it less than a month before everyone else is starting to get on board with it.
It's supposed to be, though, I think. It
is super cheeks, and that's the reason, because Melo is cool, and he's awesome, and Miz is a fucking dork.
And Miz is not cool, and he calls himself awesome.
Yes. So that's why it's intended to be that way, because it's like this is gonna be gold. It's gonna be gold. I can't wait. And Courtney is laughing at it. She knows. So with that, we can now jump in to the women's elimination chamber match. And boy, oh boy, is this guy right here excited, baby, because we're this close. We're this close.
I can't wait to talk about this. I can't wait to talk about this.
Roxanne Perez taking on Liv Morgan, Naomi, Bianca Belair, Bayley, and Alexa Bliss in a very, because the guys are getting all the shine. This women's chamber match is very, very stacked. I'm super pumped for this match. So with that said, what is your excitement level for this match before we go into the winners and breakdowns here?
The fact that Liv and Raquel won the World Tag Team titles on Monday Night Raw made my excitement level go up, because that means that Liv Morgan's going to be nowhere near the title match.
That's not true. That's not true. Double champ. She's got to get gold. Even the fact that Ben can't get any for Judgment Day.
You're making an argument you don't even believe in. You're not even going to predict that she's going to win. I know who you're predicting already, and I know it's not Liv.
If Liv wins, though, I'm not mad.
I know you're not. I'm going to go out on a limb here. I think that there's a lot of going into WrestleMania. There's a lot of stories right now that make a lot of sense. I feel like the women's championship it's so wide open right now. And I think that there are a lot of people that want the dream match between Bianca and Rhea. And I think that you could build it here. But I also think that there's a lot to still go with this whole Jade Cargill situation that I'm not 100% sure that if Bianca has to be involved in it somehow, even if it does turn out that it's Naomi. And the eventual idea is to go with Jade versus Naomi. Bianca has to in some way be involved. And I don't like the fact that that's going to be a distraction for her in some way for WrestleMania. I just think that there's too many moving parts going on for it to be Bianca. So I'm going to go on a limb here, and I'm going to say that I think the one that actually makes the most sense is Bayley. And I think that we had a tease with Rhea Ripley and Bayley backstage a couple of months ago. I think right before Bayley even went to Raw, or right there, they had a little stare down. You know how Triple H likes to go, like his callbacks. They haven't had a major match at WrestleMania against each other. I don't really think they've had a really major feud against each other.
I don't think they've had a feud.
And I think that Bayley's she's kind of directionless unless they're going to do something with Io. She's kind of directionless going into WrestleMania.
She's the thing with Roxanne that's been brewing and kind of grew on NXT, and that's why Roxanne's been in the crowd during Bayley's matches.
But how many women's matches are we going to see at WrestleMania? We got to think that we're going to have. I mean, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
I'm just hoping.
But you got to figure. Okay, we have Liv. I'm sorry, we have the tag titles are going to be defended in some way, right? Yeah. So that's getting Liv on the card. We have to get Rhea in her match. We have the Tiffany versus Charlotte match. You've got to figure that at this point Bayley's got to have a WrestleMania match, right? You got to think that Io's got to have a WrestleMania match. I don't know. I would assume.
Can I intervene just a second here?
Sure.
Because we talk about this all the time with how it's not just about Mania anymore. It's about the SmackDown before, or not even just Mania, just all POs. It's about the SmackDown before and the Raw after, and how they build up these big matches to fill in those shows as well. And I think a Roxanne Bayley one could be like a Raw main event after WrestleMania. And I know everyone's like, you can't do that to Bayley, but stop it. Bayley has had an incredible career. She just had
but remember
the title and the Royal Rumble last year.
Yes. Which was a make good because of how crappy she's been booked at WrestleMania every year. Right. Remember before that, like triple threat match, hosted WrestleMania, Fatal 4-Way. Like it was just, she never has like that. I get it. She got it last year. Right. Hey, listen, I get it. She got it last. Don't get me wrong. I'm of the same mindset. I'm with you. I believe you're right. But I also think that there's just this feeling in me that thinks that there's just too much going on with Bianca for it to be her.
So the dude I was on the show with the other night, he was breaking it down. He was basically saying like it's too early for Roxanne. Alexa just got back. It's too early for her. Naomi and Bianca are going to be doing with Jade. Liv's the tag champ, and they've kind of ran that whole Rhea and Liv thing dry
into the ground.
Bayley's like the last one that made sense, and I'm like, hey, I get it. I'm not saying it's not even possible, because if you're wanting to get Io on the card as well, the Bayley Io thing makes perfect sense to kind of figure that out to make it
exactly. If Bayley's ringside,
real possibility,
right? Bayley's ringside at that main event on Raw the next night, because she's going to face the winner now, right? Because it's
Io is facing Rhea on Monday for the title.
Right, so that's going to be after the Elimination Chamber. So if Bayley wins, she goes ringside.
What up, Ron? Thank you for joining, man.
She goes up ringside. Io does a moonsault outside. Bayley accidentally gets involved. Something happens. Disqualification. Bam. There's your triple threat.
Yeah. I can see it happening. I'm not saying it's not either of a possibility. So you're saying Bayley.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Bayley.
Yeah. So first, my excitement level for this is through the chart.
Same here.
I am through the moon about this match.
Bianca can win. I mean, they could pull the ultimate, underdog story and have Roxanne win this. Alexa just got back, so there's a really good chance that they could even put this, give it to Alexa as well. Like, there's a lot of ways this can go, and that's why I'm excited, because I don't know where it's going.
Alexa's my dark horse in this one.
Yeah.
If not, I'm picking Bianca. Clearly, anybody who's been watching the show for whatever time knows I'm going to say Bianca here, because I've been pushing for this match forever. Yeah. And you got to do it. You stop waiting. We've waited long enough. Just do the match.
Let's be honest here. The WrestleMania main events that we're going to inevitably have, even whatever it is, one night for the World Heavyweight Championship, that doesn't need to be the main event. If it's going to be Rhea versus Bianca, that's a WrestleMania main event.
That's night one main event.
That's night one main event worthy.
It's bigger than Jey Uso and Gunther, and I'm sorry.
Oh my God, yeah. I love both of those guys, but that's way bigger.
It is literally of your active roster participants. I don't think there's a bigger match, man or woman, that you could do than Rhea and Bianca because of the fact that, one, they've never wrestled, and two, they are number 1A and 1B as far as the top in the women's industry today. You gotta do it. What are we waiting? And you said that you were worried about the Jade connection here and all this. And in my eyes, my opinion, how I see it, is that Naomi is the one that did it because she's benefited the most. So Jade comes back. Bianca could play stupid. And she could be like, that's fine. I'll deal with you when I'm done with Naomi. And you brought up the distraction, and maybe that's what causes Bianca to snap at the end of this, is because she's been so distracted. She loses to Rhea at WrestleMania, and that's what causes her to snap and turn on Jade after WrestleMania. That's just something that, like, literally I came up off the top of my head that they could play into it as to how you get around the Jade Cargill thing. I know everyone's really thinking we're getting Jade and Bianca, and I think that would be just a huge mistake. We don't know how much longer we have to make this match. We don't want this to be one of those things where, like, man, they waited too long, or it never gets to happen because something freakish happens and it just gets taken off the table completely. Pull the trigger. It's got to be Bianca right now, everybody.
I also think that there's a giant swerve, and it may not even be Naomi. I feel like it's way too obvious. And I feel like, why is it so obvious? Sure, it definitely does. But, like, why is it so obvious? You know? Like, there should be at least be a little intrigue. Like, I get it. No one liked that Rikishi was the guy that, you know, ran over Stone Cold Steve Austin. But there was intrigue for a while. I feel like they're not doing a good job in building up other people to say, hey, maybe it was this person. They could benefit from it. Even if they deny it, it doesn't mean that they still didn't do it.
I think the intrigue is with Bianca. It's like, did you know? I think that's where the intrigue for this storyline, and that's why they haven't really put too much focus on it, because, like, she got taken out. We don't know who it is. There's an investigation. I don't feel like they need to revisit it every week. For some reason, a lot of people do. No, you don't. She's not there. Okay. Well, when she gets closer, we'll revisit it, and then we'll start to amp it up. And I think if Naomi is the person, and like you said, there's not a lot of intrigue in that because it is very obvious. But I think that's where Bianca gets tied in. Like that, because it's, did you know? And that is the bigger story than Naomi taking Jade out. And it helps you build that matchup while also giving Jade some, you know, reps to kind of get a little bit better to get to that point. And I think with Jade eliminating Jade Cargill from the Royal Rumble, them teaming up last year at WrestleMania, and then Bianca and Jade being the ones that go on to win the tag titles while Naomi gets left in the dust. Kind of just, what am I doing? Seeing them succeed without her, even though she, like, I think a lot of this stuff kind of just builds up and points the finger at her. And if it's not her, they better have a really good explanation as to who it was and why it wasn't Naomi. That's how, like, obvious it is to me. And when it's so obvious, I think if you try to get cute with it, it ruins the whole storyline. Because of how many seeds have been planted prior to it even happening, whether it was by design or not, probably not. But that's the way I see it. But I'm willing to listen. I'm willing to take another idea if they give it to me.
I'd like to, yeah. Good, I agree. I agree. Because, you know, the thing is that who benefits from it?
So, Alexa is the female beret. She is so special and book so powerful. We have plot devices to keep the bullet like everyone. So, the reason I like Alexa as the dark horse pick here is because, one, she just got back, and at one point, Alexa was like one of the top women in the division.
Yeah.
And people forget that. They forget it a lot. Alexa used to, like, be boss. And
she was the women's champion for 2 years straight. She lost the championship at a pay-per-view at a pay-per-view, and then won the opposite brand's championship the next month. Like, she was like a women's champion for like 2 years straight.
Let me look this up real quick. And two, I think she does really well with the bigger opponents. She just has really good chemistry with the bigger opponents. Yeah. They can throw her around, and she can do little maneuvers that she has, and they just look better on the bigger opponents. Bianca Belair. I don't think so, buddy.
I think you might be right. I think when Rhea was NXT champion. But I think that's it, not main roster. They never interacted.
2019, I'm not counting it.
Yeah.
Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair, neither one of them had even come into their own yet.
No, that was NXT. That's Rhea Ripley's. I think she's like one of like Rhea's like first or second like title defenses.
And then again in 2020, where was this? This is Takeover.
Oh, it was okay. I didn't even realize it was a second one.
They did it on a Takeover. I don't remember them, and that was so early in their career. We're not.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's like the idea of like it's okay. This incarnation of these characters, it's like okay, like we've seen Roman and Cena wrestle before, but you wanted to see the final boss versus John Cena. You know what I mean? Like,
there's another right there. And
yeah,
like she's very like, what is it? What are we doing? What are we doing? So, like, she's trying to get information because she's trying to stay in the clear. This is how I look at it. I think Naomi will reveal it at Mania. I think Jade's just going to come back and just whoop her ass. She knows who did it. I think Jade knows. She
landed on the car on her back. Like, you've got to assume that she knows who attacked her, right?
Yeah. I wouldn't like Rhea versus Alexa. Hey, not everything's for everybody, but yeah. I remember seeing Alexa versus Bianca in the Chamber, and then they had that match on Raw. Their chemistry is great.
Yeah.
And again, it's the size difference that made it really good. So we got to hurry up this because we went. Hey, I'm not mad at it because I like the match. But so you have Bayley.
I'm going to go Bayley.
And I have Bianca Belair. So bonus question. There's two here. Who are the first two people in the Chamber? And who is the last person getting pinned?
I think it's going to start with Alexa and Naomi, and you said the last person to get pinned is going to I have a feeling it's going to be Bianca.
Man. Okay, so for now on, when we do any kind of predictions when it's Rumble order, I'm not doing 1 and 2 anymore because I got shafted on this crap last time. So we're just doing the first two people in the match.
Yeah, that's fair.
So for my first two, I'm going to go with Liv Morgan, because Liv Morgan is the MVP. And
if you say so.
Roxanne.
Okay.
Is the first two in. And then this is going to be a little bit of a shocker here. I'm going to go ahead and say the last person pinned is Naomi. Bianca pins Naomi last.
Interesting. I like that. That makes, if that's the case, that makes the match more appealing.
Like drama.
That makes it more appealing.
Hey, I got you. I can get us there if you just listen to me.
I'm hopeful.
Hey, that would be fine too. I think a lot of people would start sweating bullets if Liv was in the final two.
You are not kidding. They're not going to do this. Yeah.
But man, I'd be like, let's go. And he says he wants Rock and Roll. Again, I think I can get us there. Give me a second. I was just thinking Liv and Roxanne. Okay. So it's a good first two. And Roxanne just beat Raquel. So
yes,
let them go in there and mix it up to start the chamber off. Men's chamber time, baby. We got Damian Priest versus CM Punk versus Logan Paul. There's a lot of P's going on in here versus Seth Rollins, John Cena, and then Drew McIntyre in the men's elimination chamber to go on to face Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. So we're just going to jump right in here. Do you want to go first here?
I don't mind.
All right. Take it away. Let us know who's winning and why.
I think this whole thing, I think me and you have here's the set.
I was going to say, you could break it down person by person too, if you'd like, because I plan on doing this a little bit.
Here's the thing. I think inevitably, I'm going to keep this short and sweet. I think inevitably, me and you, I think may have the same idea. And this is something that I brought up a couple of weeks ago. And I think Drew McIntyre is going to win this damn thing. And I think Drew McIntyre versus Cody at WrestleMania, because Drew's going to be the one that's going to be the chosen champion for The Rock, because why wouldn't he? They've interacted before. The Rock has never said anything negative about Drew. If someone wants to take that mantle, if Cody doesn't want to take that mantle, we know that Drew would in a heartbeat. Why not be the chosen one? He was the chosen one at one point, and then he got damn fired, and now he can finally reign as the chosen one. I think it makes the most sense in the damn world. I don't think that there's a reason why you don't do it, because I get it. I understand that there's a lot of people that want to see Cody versus Cena, but I just don't think that seeing Cody trust. Yeah, I just don't think seeing Cody crush Cena's dreams at WrestleMania does anything for either of them. I don't think it adds to the lure and mystique of Cody's title reign, because then people are still going to go, oh crap, someone's still got to take the belt off of Cody, and like, okay, so he beat Cena, but everybody beat Cena. Like he hasn't come back and proven he lost the Rumble. He's going to lose, even if he wins the Elimination Chamber. Even if he goes on a 2-month winning streak, it's still the John Cena who hasn't won a singles match in over 2,000 days. It doesn't mean as much. So if you're going to do something at WrestleMania, let's make it big. Let's go full bore into it. You want a character who's going to go embrace that? Drew McIntyre is going to embrace it. I don't think. Look, I don't think that there's a chance where people are going to boo CM Punk. Even if he turns and goes against Cody Rhodes, there still are going to be people that are going to boo CM Punk. It doesn't make sense to go that route. We've already seen Logan Paul does make sense to be that person, because why wouldn't he also? But I also don't think that The Rock thinks that Logan Paul's even on that level at this point to even be that person. I think Drew McIntyre makes the most sense.
So, bro, my head will explode. We're not putting that into the universe, man. We're not putting that WrestleMania 9 boo-ha into the universe.
Oof. Please no.
That a lot. Hey, you gonna agree with me again then too, buddy? Because I say the same thing, but I'm gonna break it down a little bit more here. I think Paul and Priest are the two no chance in hell. Kick him out of here. Seth Rollins, because of The Rock's offer, interests me, because Seth's greatest run, as far as in kayfabe goes, is when he was part of the corporation. When he sold his soul to the devil and joined Triple H and
the Authority.
So he's been down this road before, and he knows what kind of success it brings. And with him having to constantly look at Roman Reigns, he's been pissed off about Roman Reigns holding the company hostage for the past few years, and now Cody, for the fact that he even thought about doing it, piss on him too. He's had to play second fiddle to Cody now too. So he wins the chamber, and then he's like, you know what? If Cody's not going to take that offer, I think I could. And he'll sell his soul to the devil again and get him back to the promised land where he wants to be. I think that's interesting. I think the only way I want John Cena to be the winner here is if Cody beats John Cena, it doesn't do anything. And if John Cena beats Cody, it kind of hurts Cody, in my opinion. The only way it makes sense for me is if Cody turns heel in the process. If John Cena pushes him to the brinks and causes Cody to turn heel in the process, just like McMahon, Austin, Rock did at 17, that makes sense. But I don't think it's happening. I think Cody and Cena is just not a Mania match. Sorry, everybody. CM Punk is corporate. This is my favorite one because I think it would just be brilliant. He likes to poke at the wrestling fans online, and they've all called him a sellout since he came back. So what better way to really poke him than to actually sell out? I also think on the reverse side of this, if Cody realizes that, hey, maybe Punk does have my number, and then he turns Rock down first, but then eventually agrees to it, that we don't know about it. Again, it's a heel turn at Mania, and that's how Cody ends up joining him, and that's how Cody turns heel. I think that's interesting.
Sure.
I think with Punk and Cody, and that's why I said it's the most intriguing match a few weeks ago, they create the most intrigue, because either way you turn it, play it, there's a lot of different ways we can come out of this. But Drew McIntyre makes perfect sense here. And I'll break it down piece by piece by piece. One, he hates the bloodline. Except he has no beef with The Rock. He's never had an issue with The Rock.
Yeah.
What better way to get back at Roman Reigns than to side with what does The Rock call himself in the family? The High Chief.
Yeah.
Side with the High Chief and become the High Chiefs world champion with the title that Roman Reigns wants. That is a brilliant storyline coming out of WrestleMania that goes right into SummerSlam. Awesome match.
Yep.
2, WWE has been really good about planting seeds and being like, this is something that happened. And then people are like, oh, this person's mad. And so when Drew got really upset after Royal Rumble, that's a red herring. That didn't happen. That didn't happen, but y'all thought it happened. And now you think, oh, he's facing Damian Priest or LA Knight at WrestleMania. He deserves so much more. And you're right, he does. And he's going to get it.
Why he's going to get it, yeah.
When he wins the chamber and goes on
right.
Cody Rhodes, it's like, yeah, he got
what
you guys were wrong. And they love to play these Marks and Dave Meltzer and all these people online. They love it. And that's, again, that's too good of an opportunity to miss. Especially
absolutely.
Do these things. 3, where was I going? Drew McIntyre, when he re-signed, it was The Rock who was there with him.
Gave him a sword.
He presented him with the sword. He was there. He was very excited to do this. In 2019, The Rock said Drew McIntyre was the next big thing to happen with WWE, even after he was the chosen one years before. The Rock said this in 2019, and since then, Drew's been on an amazing run.
Yep.
4, the last person to pin Cody Rhodes outside of The Rock is Drew McIntyre.
Yes,
and for anybody who thinks that Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre isn't a name value match that can headline WrestleMania, you're kind of right to an extent. But when you throw The Rock into the mix, all that shit don't matter anymore. Just look at what happened last year.
Yeah, Drew was in a world title match last year. Let's be honest here. Come on.
You know? But the main event thing, people are really stupid about some things sometimes. And it's like, yeah, well, if that's your worry, The Rock is connected. That eliminates the name power thing right there. You have The Rock involved with a Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre main event.
Look, you can't sit there and tell me the name value thing is even in question. You have Drew McIntyre, who's won 2 out of his 3 world titles at WrestleMania. Come on. I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at the wrestling fans who believe that that's even a thing.
They're looking at names like Roman and Cena and Punk, and they're like, those are the names that should be there. It's like, no, they don't have to be there.
They don't need to be. They need to be on the card, and they need to be a very big part of what brings you into the – but let's face it, WrestleMania is the attraction now. We went to WrestleMania. We bought tickets for WrestleMania 40. I don't think there was even matches announced when we bought tickets to WrestleMania 40.
No.
So that it's the event is the attraction. Drew is a main event star. He's a top guy. He is, and if you're going to sit there and say that, well, he's not on CM Punk's level. Well, he was on CM Punk's level all year last year, wasn't he? Yeah. So if CM Punk's on that level to main event WrestleMania, and we've seen Cody Rhodes now do it 2 years in a row, there is no reason why Drew McIntyre is not on that level of being a WrestleMania main eventer. By the way, Drew McIntyre is already main evented at WrestleMania.
Yeah, well.
I don't care. I get it. There were TV screens there, but if there weren't TV screens there, he would have,
Yeah. So I got you. I got some good theories here. And, the Rock Roman thing. Let's just say Punk is the winner and he's calls in his favor. Hey, Paul, I need your boy to take care of the Rock so he stays out of my business. It's literally that simple to get Rock and Roman off to the races. If you want that, and they could do something like that to make it happen. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Roman and Seth is your Mania match, though. I think that's
which I'm fine with, and I love that.
Sure. They deserve it. They
absolutely
deserve it. Roman will take out Seth. Bingo, bango for sure.
Let's be honest. Roman's been again, same thing. Roman's been in world title matches for 5 years in a row at WrestleMania. I mean, I think it's time that Roman takes a little bit of a back step, and and his back step is to have a Mania-worthy match with Seth freaking Rollins. Yeah, I mean, come on,
it'll be all right. Always praise. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff between Rock and Drew to look back on, and again, we all know he's on the level. But I just see all the people who are just infatuated with names. That's why they didn't like Jey Uso to win, because it was like you had Cena and you had Punk and you had Rome. They put too much value in names sometimes. So
Their favorite didn't win.
If I'm talking, it usually is, buddy. If Drew wins the Chamber, who should face Cena at Mania? I don't know.
CM Punk.
No.
Why not? Why not? That's the marquee matchup at that point. Who else is there left for either of those guys?
I think John Cena, Braun Breaker's right there. If he can't get his 17th title, he gets his Grand Slam. I think it's right there. Okay. I don't want to see a multi-man match for that damn title. So give me a
If that's the case, who does Punk face?
I'm gonna go ahead and pass on that question.
That's my point. That's my point. I think it makes the most sense.
Steve Austin,
please.
There we go. I solved it. That's what we're doing. AJ Braun is building. Hey, I think that could just be a Raw thing, though, man. We got 2 months to get there.
Yeah, we have 2 months to get to Mania.
Out AJ and Braun 2 months. I just don't. So with that, I'd ask a question in the women's. Got to ask again in the men's. Sure. I didn't ask this about Jade, though. Do we think Jade shows up at the Elimination Chamber?
Yes.
So he says Jade returns. And I, too, believe Jade returns. I completely skipped over that. I don't even know why. We talked about her so much. And now, who do you think are your first 2 people that will be inside? Don't tempt me with a good time. Who are your first 2 people in the men's chamber? This one's tough. This one's tough.
Priest and Paul.
Whew. Priest and Paul.
You get those two. You get the 2 in there first, and then you go the heavy hitters right after that. It's like, just think about it. That chamber goes off. It's either Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, CM Punk, or John Cena.
Okay, and who's the last person pinned?
John Cena gets pinned last.
John Cena's last pinned. Okay. I think Logan Paul.
By the way,
is out there too.
Listen, that's a possibility, but again, who does CM Punk face? That's where a lot of what I'm thinking about is
Jacob Fatu. There you go. Just give me something not that.
Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah, she does. Hey, tickets purchased right there.
Imagine Punk versus Dom at WrestleMania.
Punk and Cena will start. Cena, Drew, final 2. Paul, first one out. Okay. I think Logan Paul being the first one out. It's definitely not going to happen. But, so my first 2, I'm going to say, what did I do with this? I think Drew is one of the first 2. I think he's going to have to scratch and claw his way through this.
I would love that, actually.
I think he's going to have to do that. And they like doing that with Triple H has been charged.
Triple H likes doing that, yeah.
He likes to do some like,
you got to earn it. Yeah.
So Drew and because we all know Cena's coming out last. I'll say Drew and Rollins.
I knew you were going to say it.
Those are your first 2.
I'm with it. I like it.
Man, I'm writing the wrong words over here. First 2. And then my last person pinned. I know the John Cena one makes the most sense, and I'm going to kick myself because that's like a layup, and I'm not going to take it. I think CM Punk is the last person pinned.
I would love that too.
Drew's win that much more bittersweet.
Right.
I like full circle stuff.
I'm with that too. I'm okay with that. And then also I'm okay with that because it also preserves the future of seeing hopefully a CM Punk a John Cena versus Drew McIntyre program at one point. So maybe they don't have that much of an interaction inside that chamber.
So Priest and Paul first. Seth gets pinned by Drew. Hey, as long as we're all on the same page and Drew is winning, baby. I like that. Logan Paul. He wouldn't show up. He would, and that's why I don't want him in big matches. I think if he's like, I gotta have this or I'm not gonna show up, I don't like that. I think there's a lot of people he could wrestle that would be awesome that aren't top contenders that he would put spotlights and shine on.
Dragon Lee.
I said it before. Carmelo Hayes. That would be amazing. That'd be amazing. But it doesn't happen because he's a little prick. But so yeah, 2 days away and we get the Elimination Chamber. I'm very excited for this.
Can't
the
wait.
Excitement I had for Rumble, I have for this one. They really stacked these chambers.
They're doing a great job. And look, everybody keeps talking about they need more matches at the PLEs. Nah, I'm good.
Nah, I mean,
I'm good.
We got 6, 12, 14, 18. We have 18 people on the card wrestling. So 4 matches is fine.
Especially at these bigger events like Rumble and Elimination Chamber and Money in the Bank, where you're going to have these big multi-man matches. You don't need to have 15 matches on those cards.
And if arenas are still selling tickets at the rate they're still selling tickets, I think those customers' ideas and what they like take precedence over the whiny babies who are crying about it, who don't spend their money. So yeah, shut up. You don't matter. Money speaks. If you're not spending your money, hey, your opinion don't matter to them.
Yep.
Speed champion Logan Paul. Oh my goodness. Is he gonna be speed champion? That's okay. He gonna bring gold to Judgment Day, and then Finn Balor won't. Give him the boot. Give him the boot. Hey, while we're here, since we just brought it up, who's gonna join the Judgment Day?
I don't know. They keep teasing that, right? Like who is it? Like I honestly, I don't know.
Man, I really hope Bronson Reed is further along than I thought, and he joins them.
That would be cool, but I doubt it. But I mean,
or Omos. I want a big bad boy.
I actually don't hate that.
Bro, Pence ain't coming to Judgment Day. We don't want him. He go join some other boo-ha faction. Penta. Seattle chance of joining Judgment Day. That's what I say. Omos. There you go. I know Lou loves this pick. Omos. So that's the show, everybody. Thank you for watching. As always, thank you for tuning in. If you're watching this at a later time and you want to jump in the comments and let us know your thoughts or who you think are winning, go right ahead. The winner here just gets bragging rights. Eventually, I might, start throwing in some prizes on it. But until then, no, I just like doing it for fun. That's you're gonna need a big trash can, my man. You're gonna need a very big trash can. And there you go. That would be hilarious. So with that said, do you have anything you'd like to plug or say before we say our goodbyes?
Have fun in Elimination Chamber.
That's what I like to hear. So until next time, everybody, we will see you then. Toodles. Double clicks.